What's going on, guys? Today is the day. Today is Nationals. I was going to do vlogs all this weekend. I might just chuck a couple of clips in from the Friday night crit. I haven't had any Wi-Fi here, which has been shit. So I haven't been able, I haven't had any motivation to put any vlogs up because I can't upload them. But yeah, today's the day of the Nationals. I'm super nervous. It's nearly 6 o'clock. Which means my race is in 2.5 hours. I gotta go put everything in the car, hope it fits, and then, and then that's the day. And then race. It says 7.8, feels like 5.9, which is awesome. But hopefully it warms up. It warmed up yesterday. I've got a base layer and everything and arm warmers, but I'm not going to wear arm warmers in the race. I'll just wear them for a warm up. But yeah, let's get ready to do this. Alright, so I've just left and everything in the car, got some water and stuff, so I'm gonna head to the race now. Let's do this. Let's do it! Alright, so I'm just getting ready. I've got to fill up my bottles. I just bought some water. Got my number on, number 70. And hey, and it's one of the girls that I'm versing. I'm gonna put some of this stuff into this bottle, the bigger bottle, and then hoping to catch up with the llama so that I can get 2 more bottles. But imagine having someone to help you with all of this. It would be so less stressful. Imagine being in a team. That'd be nice. Alright, I'm gonna go down now. God, my hair's cooked. I'm going to go down and do a wee and give my bottle to someone, and then do some warm-up, a little bit of warm-up, and do it. Alrighty guys, so this is Road Nationals 2019 in Ballarat, Mount Buninyong. So this is going up the first climb, well, the climb. This is obviously my first time at Road Nationals. I'm not a pro cyclist. I'm not a pro in any sense of the word. This is the 3rd lap. So before you guys go, oh, you don't know anything about cycling, oh, you can't make comments like that. This is just my thoughts on the race and how I was feeling, what I was thinking when I was going through this. So yeah, let's crack on into it. So going up this bit, it's quite a nice gradient, so as you're going up, it's sort of nice. So I looked forward to this part of the course the most because I knew that I was confident in my climbing ability and I could go up, you know, with relative confidence rather than the descending and the cornering parts of the actual course. And as you can see, like, I'm not near the back of the group. This lap 3 was actually, it was more like a tempo up the climb, a bit pacier than the first 2, and definitely slower than the others, the next ones. But yeah, going up this climb, I was pretty confident that I could stay, especially in this little bit. The rider in front of me, number 8, she that's Amanda Spratt. She came 2nd at Worlds last year, and she came 2nd in this race overall as well, so she's a wheel to sit on. And I was thinking, you know what, if I can sit behind her at least on this lap, or you know, any laps, I'm doing okay. So yeah, she eventually ended up attacking on the 5th lap, so, and I couldn't keep up with that. But anyway, so for this lap, I'm pretty happy with where I am. To my right, you can see the rider with the fluoro yellow socks. That's Brodie Chapman. She used to ride around this area, and last year she did a whole year in the World Tour with the team. and yeah, she's a pretty strong rider. She came 6th last year, but this year she came 9th. So I was like, oh, that's a good wheel to sit behind and sit near. So some of the girls I knew, some of them I didn't. So I was sort of picking to sit behind the girls that I knew, and because I haven't had any experience in races like this, I thought, I know those girls, and those girls know what they're doing, and I don't. So I'm going to sit behind those girls because they know exactly what they're doing. So I'm just going to sit there. So this bit is leading up to what I thought was the second half of the climb. To my right there, you can see with the blue shoes, that is the winner from last year, Shannon Malseed. So in front of me, I've got second in the world road race last year, Amanda Spratt, and then to my right, I've got the winner from last year, Shannon Malseed. So I thought, yep, I'm in a pretty good position right now. So going up this climb, it's a little bit steeper in parts than the first half of the climb. And this is where it started getting a little bit pacier every time. As you can see, they've sort of picked up the pace a little bit, but this is still such an enjoyable climb. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. This bit of road is brand new, so it's super smooth, just riding in the gutter. I rode the gutter every single time, but it wasn't the gutter. Like, it was a better place to be than over in the middle of the road. So I was pretty happy to be riding in that spot. But yeah, this is leading up to the com. It was about 1 kilometre, pretty much straight up. It got a bit pinchy in places, but most of the time it was just a nice gradual gradient. I think overall from the bottom to the top of the climb was 6.6%. So it's similar to a Gravatt that I normally ride, but it's not. Gravatt is steeper in parts, so its overall gradient is similar to this, but this is more of like a consistent gradient. So I thoroughly enjoyed doing this climb, and I sort of want to do it again, but you know, at a normal pace and not in a race situation. It's a little bit stressful. But yeah, as you can see, that sign said 500 meters to go till the top, and it's generally got a little bit more crowded as we got to the top with actual fans, well, spectators. So this bit of the road ended up running out, and yeah, I don't know, but I just generally rode in the gutter, and I felt pretty tired by this point of each lap, because obviously it's the end of the climb, but I was still pretty confident in where I was physically on this climb. But at the same time, the pace wasn't super hard. I mean, I'm still with these pros, and obviously they took off and attacked up on the next 2 or 3 laps. So I couldn't stay with them on that one, but I'm pretty happy to have been able to stay with them for 5 laps. So yeah, this is pretty much the top of the com, and I was pretty glad to see this part by the time I got there. Still to my right, Amanda Spratt, so I'm pretty happy to be in this position, but I lose position every time I go down the descents, because I just am not confident in my descending skills. It's not a hard descent, but it's more like you go from doing a nice high cadence to sending it around corners and stuff, and it's just a bit stop-starty, and that is something that I need to work on. So as we're getting towards the top of the climb, I'm pretty tired. So this bit, it sort of goes downhill a little bit and then up. Not up steep, but it's just enough to go, oh god, I can't change gears yet because I have to go up this little bit. So you can see the corner in the distance. I pretty much stay on the left-hand side, on the inside, every time I'm on this corner. And there was some spectators on that corner cheering me on, which was pretty cool. So yeah, going around this corner, it's a slight downhill. So yeah, as you can see, I start going sort of backwards, and yeah, it gets a little bit tight. But that's what I was also super nervous about, being in such a big group descending and just in general, because I don't know, I've just never done it before. You don't get races like that around here. But I tried to stay on the outside as much as possible, trying to sit behind wheels, but it's a lot harder than being in the center of the entire bunch. So this is the start of the descent. It's not a hard descent. It's pretty simple, but at the same time, I'm obviously straight into the wind here, which is dumb. So good one, Emily, in hindsight. So I end up losing position because I've taken the long way around and I'm into the headwind. And it's a corner and I'm going, scary. See, it starts to get strung out and I'm like, what am I doing? I've got no one in front of me. And so I try to attach myself to a wheel and just send it down this hill. But it was a pretty fast descent. Obviously didn't have any speed up on the screen, but I got to a max speed of 75 kilometers an hour at some stage. I don't know if it was during one of these descents, but there's another downhill bit that's really sketchy because it goes straight downhill into a corner. And there's actually a lady that crashed. I think it might have been on this lap, but yeah, she was not too lucky when she went around that corner. But I was using these bits to recover as much as I could, but I also had to push the pedals to try and stay with the group, because what I lacked in skill going around the corner, I had to make up for in speed and strength and pedaling to get back to the group and get back to the wheels. As you can see, I'm still behind Amanda Spratt. Pretty proud of that. That's why I chose this lap, to show you guys. But I didn't really want to get in her way because I was like, I'm not here to win. I'm here to get some experience. I don't want to get in the way. Some girl almost took her out on one of the laps, so that was a bit dodge. But yeah, so the descent lasts for quite some time, but as I said, I wasn't really recovering in any of these descents because I'm still working pretty hard to stay with the bunch. And my heart rate was always a little bit high. So another corner, as you can see, I'll probably lose position again. Yep, there we go, going backwards. Good one, Emily. And then I have to pedal hard to get back onto the group. So do the other girls, and I don't even know where Amanda Spratt is. I'm pretty sure she's behind me, or maybe beside me, I don't know. But yeah, I just have to work really hard to make up position every time I go around a corner. So this bit is the descent I was talking about earlier. There was warning signs coming up there. The girl to my left, she's actually from the Gold Coast. I've raced her before. So yeah, this is the sharp corner where someone bins it. I'm pretty I don't know if it's this lap. You might see her. Oh, here we go. Yep, there she is on the ground. Binned it. But this corner was super sketchy, and as you can see, everyone's strung out, so it wasn't just me. So I was pretty much sprinting out of this corner every time to make up position. And this is heading into the Federation Uni, which is the more, I'd say, technical part of the course. It's not a long section, of course, but it's got lots of corners in it, which is what I was most worried about, and they're quite fast corners to go into. So I was a little bit worried about doing those, but I seemed to handle them well, and I think this was actually the hardest part of the course for me because of just the cornering, which I didn't do too bad in. It was more this having to sprint after each corner to get back on the wheel or get back to the group. And it was just, the pace seemed to pick up from those girls who are more confident in their cornering skills, like Brodie Chapman, who used to be a mountain biker. She obviously can do these corners super easy. And this bit is like this dirty little pinchy corner, and you're in the wrong gear because it all slows down for some reason, and then look, you're grinding and the bunch is strung out again. But yeah, I don't know. This bit is actually quite a fast section of the course, and I struggled with it because it was so hard to gain that speed again after coming out of the corners. Okay, so this is further through the uni where it's coming up to one of the harder corners. As you can see, the bunch is super strung out. There's also 7 girls up the road. Forgot to mention that. 7 girls up the road who we haven't really even started chasing yet. So as you can see, I get dropped on the wheel and I split. For some stupid reason, I decide to go on the left-hand side where nobody is, and I have to work real hard to get back. But you live and you learn. I didn't do that again. So yeah, coming around into another corner that is it wasn't my favourite corner, but it wasn't the scariest. The scariest one was the one before, because there was like a manhole cover on it. But yeah, it's just another corner that you had to sort of sprint out of, and everyone was sprinting out of it because the bunch that took it really well around the front, you know, it was all right. But like, you sprint out of the corners and then the bunch slows up and you're like, what did I even sprint for? I could have just kept the same pace and eventually caught up again. But yeah, pace is on again, coming into the coming out of the uni and into the top onto the main drag towards the finish line. I think it's about 3Ks to the finish line from here, or maybe less than that, maybe 2Ks to the finish line. The bunch really slows up here around this corner. I don't know why. Oh God, I almost died there. I don't know why it always slows down in those corners, because nobody wants to slow down. So it's just sort of frustrating. This part of the course was basic and simple, where everyone just sort of spreads out and collects themselves, has a drink, and gets on with it. This is the only time on the entire during the entire race that I was on the right-hand side. And I didn't do it again because I was not comfortable on the right-hand side. I preferred being on the left. I mean, look at me, I'm exposed. I couldn't get the wheel. When this girl comes through, I sit behind her, but, well, eventually I think I do. But it was still like, oh man. But I'm sort of near the front of the bunch and I'm like, oh God, Emily, what are you doing up here? You know, you need to just go and sit in and hopefully you'll get to the end. But as you know, I was pulled from the race with 2 laps to go because I was 10 minutes outside of, or 10 minutes from the leaders, which isn't hard to do, but it's a bit of a bummer. I definitely believe that I could have finished, but there's certain parts of the race where I wish that I had pushed harder, like when I went up the climb and there was a group of maybe 4 girls in front of me. If I'd pushed a little bit harder on those bits, and then got to those girls, maybe I might not have been pulled and we could have, I don't know, joined someone else. But it was a bit frustrating looking back on it, but I just wish I could have finished, and that's probably the only thing I take away from it. That's the most disappointing. And we were back on the main straight. I hope you guys enjoyed my views on the race and what I was thinking during the race and how I sort of got through it. And yeah, hopefully I'll come back next year and do better and have more of an idea of what I'm going to do. Pretty much went into the race just trying to follow wheels and try my hardest and stay with the group, but that didn't work out. So try again next year, regroup and train harder and, you know, get back into it next year. So yeah, let's try again next year. Yep. So it's been a couple of hours since my race now. I ended up getting pulled from the course on my 7th, after my 7th lap, so I had 2 laps to go, which is a bummer, but it doesn't matter. It's because I was 10 minutes behind. Because I was 10 minutes behind the leaders, which isn't hard, considering men are going past. Considering States was won by 8 minutes, you know, from the so. It's not a big deal, but I'm disappointed that I couldn't finish. It was only because of the men starting. They didn't want just people like cruising around on the course. So yeah, but that's my race. I'll try again next year, and can't be too hard on myself. Got a cool Zwift bag from Shane Miller and bottles. And yeah, I'm gonna go to the airport now. I'm gonna drive to the airport and then catch a flight home. And I'll see you guys on the next vlog. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, TDU vlogs coming at ya.